Marco Rose, see what I did there? Has extended his deal with Leipzig to 2026. Jules, make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think overall it was a good season from them. A bit inconsistent at times in the league, especially, and we saw being able to be great. I know they finished fourth. I know that's true, but also because Stuttgart were incredible, and then Bayern and Bayer Leverkusen, okay, above them. So yeah, you're right. They should not maybe be behind Stuttgart. However, I think you saw something good there being built with Xavi Simons, with Openda. Don't forget, new players as well in key positions. So I think he deserved that.
I love these little one-year extensions.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems to be the new thing.
And also, you expect more from him and them and the club and the team next season. So let's see. The pressure is on, without a doubt. That Douglas Luiz to Juventus deal rumbles on, Gab. But now it looks like it won't be Weston McKennie moving to Aston Villa in the other direction.
That's right. Look, I know some people don't like the idea of players being viewed as commodities and stuff like that, but this is exactly what it is. Now, the deal now, so Alicia Lehmann, who happens to be Douglas Luiz's girlfriend and, of course, is a striker for Aston Villa, she's going to move to Juventus regardless if Douglas Luiz moves. Now, the counterweights for Douglas Luiz in the deal, it's still going to be Samuel Ealing Jr., of course, but Weston McKennie has said no. He hasn't been able to work out a deal with Villa over his salary. Of course, Juventus were offering him an extension. It's not quite an extension. They're offering him a pay cut.
Yeah.
I guess Villa not willing to offer him as much money as he would have wanted. So now they stuck Enzo Barrenechea in there. And again, for those who are not familiar, Enzo Barrenechea he's 22. He was at Frosinone on loan this season. It seems like they're just chucking in players, and this really feels like it's a bit of an accounting move for all clubs. I hope Weston McKennie and the many Weston McKennie fans in the US, the ones who always remind me, well, Weston McKennie played the third most minutes on Juventus last season. They don't mind that his status as a throw-in in a deal has been replaced by Enzo Barrenechea, who I think, frankly, most people have never heard of. Paris Saint-Germain, some help at the back, maybe? Gertruida being linked. You like that?
So I'm a big fan of Gertruida, somebody who can play is that kind of centre-back who's really good on the ball, who can step into midfield, all of that. We've seen him doing that with the national team, for example, under the Dutch guy. Is it what they need right now, considering the centre-backs they have? And Gertruida can also play right-back, by the way. I'm not sure. They wanted and they still want Lenny Hierro, who is obviously highly coveted this summer by Real Madrid, by a lot of English clubs as well. So maybe they know they're going to miss out on Hierro. I would much rather have Hierro than Gertruida. But if you can't have Hierro, then if you get Gertruida for a good price, I think there's a really good player in there that offers you a different profile to what you have, and that I think would suit and fit Luis Enrique's philosophy. So I'm gonna say yes to Gertruida if it happens, Gab. If there's a possibility, for sure. Rafa Marin, who's
I think it's all under the price.
Yeah, for sure. Rafa Marin, who's one of the players that you really like, Gabby, could be on his way to Napoli from Real Madrid.
Yeah, Rafa Marin does me. I mean, in fact, when Alex Kirkland and I did our Real Madrid Keep Dump series, we suggested he should be the heir to Nacho in central defense. Homegrown, was at Alaves on loan last season, had a really, really good campaign. But no, it looks like he's going to go to Napoli. It's only a 10 million euro deal, but this is the crucial part here. Real Madrid have what they call the recompra on him, which means that they can buy him back at a fixed amount. And I don't know what that amount is, but interestingly, I think with Real Madrid and doing these deals are kind of like loans that generate money, except you don't have to take the guy back. If I'm Real Madrid, I would probably set the buyback at 20 million, 30 million, something like that. And so if you're Napoli, you're not going to say no because you're getting him at a very good price, right? And you'll get some nice money back if he does well. If you're Real Madrid, you're getting a good price for a player. You're getting 10 million in, which you can use to help pay Kylian Mbappe's enormous wages.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
And you're getting a guy now. It's a win-win. To me, the signals, though, is they still need a center back. It can signal one of two things. Either Nacho decides to stay, which I honestly hope is not the case, frankly, it's for him. or they're really going to make a push for that center back they want, and could be your man Lenny Hierro has been mentioned left, right, and center, of course.
Yeah.
Jules, I remember way back on this podcast when you first introduced me to Ryan Cherki. He was 16 years old. You told me he's more precocious than Camavinga, who, of course, made his debut at 16 in Lyon. I cradled a dream to see him play for Italy one day when I discovered that he had some Italian blood in him. Now it's not going to happen. Fair to say, it's taking a while for his career to take off, but now he's been linked to Paris Saint-Germain too? Is just because he's young and French?
Well, they've always liked him. Luis Campos has always been a big fan of his. He's got 1 year left on his contract, so they offered 15 million euros for a transfer fee, which obviously Lyon have rejected. If Lyon don't want to let him go, I think they would like ideally to extend his contract, keep him maybe another year, and then let him go the following summer, next summer in 2025. We will have to see. His agent is obviously Kylian Mbappe's mum, or that team around the Mbappe clan. So it'd be very interesting to see. He's so talented. We all know that. Right foot, left foot. I mean, how many players right now in the big five leagues takes corners with both feet? I think he's the only one, really. So it's just incredible talent. But like you say, his career hasn't really taken off because there's a lot of inconsistency. There's still games where he's anonymous too much considering his talent. So it will be a bit of a gamble for PSG. But if it's a gamble at 15 million euros, maybe 20, I'll take it. I'm ready to take that gamble and see where that goes.
Wait, his agents are the Mbappe clan?
Yeah.
But aren't they in Paris Saint-Germain suing each other over his unpaid wages and stuff like that?
God, you've been in this game long enough. You've been in this game long enough to know that when you need someone, even if you are not the best friends, you still make it happen. Gab, remember the 3 Valencia fans who were prosecuted for racially abusing Vinicius Jr.? Well, they are now been sentenced in a Spanish court.
Yeah, I think this is an underreported story. I think this is a really important story. They've been sentenced to 8 months in prison. Now, they're not actually going to go to prison because in Spain, like in many other countries, if you're sentenced or if you're convicted and sentenced to something to custodial term of under 2 years for non-violent crime, you don't actually physically go to prison. But this will be on the record. They're now going to have probation have to explain, hey, look, the 8 months that you were sentenced to. Look, this is what a lot of people want to see, right? There's sporting justice when players get racially abused, and you can ban individuals from stadiums, you can fine clubs, and then there's actual criminal justice. And in Spain, this is a criminal offense. The first time the law has been applied, hopefully it could be a deterrent.
Yeah.
More of those ever popular 1-year contract extensions. Ruben Baraja gets one at Valencia. I love Baraja as a player. Yeah. I love the fact that he's been he's called in to save the club he loves from Peter Lim, who's still there. But it's cheap and cheerful, right, Jules?
Yeah, I'm a club legend, as you said, Gabby. And when he came in at the end of the season before, the last one that just finished, he saved them from the drop, as you said, and then they finished 9th last season in La Liga. Considering the very difficult environment, that there's no money, he brought a lot of players through, and they did really well for him. So I think he's that kind of manager. He's still young in the job. He will get better. He will grow. But there were a lot of positive signs. So it makes sense for him to stay a bit longer and then see where he's at next season, next summer. Leicester City are close to naming their new manager too, Gab, and it looks like it's a battle between 2 contenders, Graham Potter on one side and Steve Cooper on the other side.
Yeah, so to me, these are 2 completely different people, right? They play different football. They have different approaches. They have different styles. They look very, very different. Yeah. To me, this shows a lack of clarity in terms of Leicester City, in terms of what they want to do. Obviously, on paper, Graham Potter is closer to Maresca and the system that they played last season. They may not be doing it this year. Or maybe it's all misdirection. Maybe they just want to keep they're just confusing everybody by talking to both of them. But really, there's only one guy they want. I don't know. But when I see this and they're all over the shop of the candidates, I'm thinking, do you really have an idea here? I don't know. Former Juventus and Arsenal boss, Joe Montemurro. Is he the best Australian manager out there?
I knew
or is
you were
it Big Ange? I don't know. That's a question. Hey, he's the new coach of Lyon's women's side. Jules, right choice by John Textor. Can we play? We haven't mentioned. We didn't even mention John Textor in the Ryan Cherki bit. Can we mention John Textor now?
But as you know, I told you before, it's not him in charge of the Lyon women's team anymore. It's Michel Kang, so.
But it's still his club. He still pays the bills, right?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't run it, but it's still his club.
No, the women's side is not his club. This is not. He doesn't have to do anything with the women's side. But you're right. Maybe we still ask, hey, do you fancy Joe? He would have never heard of Joe Montemurro before. I can guarantee you that. So I'm not sure if JT, our friend JT, has any influence on this. I think it's the right choice. It's a lovely, lovely guy. He's clearly a good coach too. I think Sonia Bonpastor has left a big void to fill because she was so good and so close to the players and obviously very successful with Champions League and Champions League finals and league titles, etc., etc. So he's inheriting an amazing squad. There's no doubt, the best one. They're about to poach the best player in the league from PSG as well. So they're going to get even better and stronger. So it's an amazing job to get. The pressure is just that you have to do as well as the others before who did so well because they just won everything. So let's see if he can do it. It's a really good project for him. It's also a big challenge. According to reports, parts of the Premier League trophy have been stolen, Gab. What is this story about?
Yeah, so if you can picture the Premier League trophy, there's like this, there's a crown on top, and then there's like a base. And you can detach the crown and the base from the trophy itself. And it's the crown and the base that supposedly have been stolen.
No way.
How serious is this? It's not very serious. It's not very serious for several reasons. So first of all, they don't just really make 2 Premier League trophies every year. One that they give to the team that wins it, and the other one, I guess, that they keep lying around. I don't quite know what they do with the other one. Apparently, the crown and the base were stolen from when it was on tour somewhere. I think it might have been in Belgium or whatever. But what struck me was the Premier League trophy is insured for £250,000, right?
Yeah.
That's around what, $300,000, give or take. Does that sound like a lot of money?
Yeah, but if it's real gold or something, it's expensive, no?
It's probably the value of the actual gold rather than the trophy itself. I mean, assuming they're just going to melt it down.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is it's not like when the Jules Rimet Cup was stolen and the dog found it in the back garden. I mean, they make these new ones, 2 new ones every year. Move on. Michy Batshuayi won't get to play with Jose Mourinho, Jules. He's moving across town.
Wow.
From Fenerbahce to Galatasaray.
Wow, just wow. I mean, if you move from Celtic to Rangers, if you move from Fiorentina to Juventus, I mean, we know who. And now you move from Fenerbahce to Galatasaray. I mean, this is amazing. And just imagine the reception that he will get next season from Fener fans, where he did really, really well, by the way, in the last 3 years, I think he was there for. When he will get there and play on that pitch with the Galatasaray shirt on, it's an incredible move, I think. And again, we know Michy quite well together. It's not surprising that he's like, me moving to the biggest rival, the arch enemies. Yeah, I'm all for it. Let's go.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Raul Sanllehi is the new co-president of Inter Miami, our old friends. Gab, you can never have enough former Barcelona people at the club.
Yeah, I don't quite understand what he's going to do. I mean, Sanllehi's had an interesting run. Obviously, he was at Barcelona. He was at Arsenal for 2 years, where it's safe to say he had some good bits and some not so good bits, then left the club. He's a football administrator, but administering in MLS is very, very different because of all the complicated rules with designated players and salary caps and stuff like that. So yeah, you can bring in more ex-Barcelona players, but you already have Busquets, Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, somebody else whose name I can't remember. Anyway, so I don't know. Is he there to babysit those guys? Is he there to hang out? Is he going to be co-president? I don't really know. I don't fully understand what his role is going to be. MLS is a different animal, but clearly there's a lot of institutional memory, a lot of historical links with Barcelona, especially the old Barcelona before this one. And look, I think he's a smart guy who maybe wasn't the right fit when he was at Arsenal.
Yeah.
But he can bring a lot to the table.